Yeah, so Daniel Ricciardo's friggin' leaving, man. He's
He is.
leaving.
He's gone.
It's so
Well,
sad.
he's not gone, but he's on the brink of gone.
Bro, it's so much BS. How are they beating around the bush this bad?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, he was last to leave Singapore. All his interviews sounded like that was it.
Yeah.
Everyone appears to be thinking this is it.
He was even crying in one of the interviews. He was
Yeah,
like he was like
well,
welling up.
he will know.
Yeah.
He will know himself if this is it, which indicates to me, bye bye, Daniel.
Yeah, it does. It's really annoying because I am really, really sad. Like, Daniel has not had a bad enough season to drop him now.
No, he hasn't.
No.
He really hasn't, and I'd say since Canada, he might have had the upper hand over Yuki on the majority of races.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's sort of gaining his mojo back slightly. Like Yuki's
Yeah,
a
he
very
was.
good driver as well. For Yuki's a very talented driver, and for Daniel to sort of be getting the edge on him in maybe a few of the races is quite impressive, really.
Yeah, I mean, this is something we saw coming, though. Was it not?
Yeah.
Well, maybe not in part way through the year, but we definitely knew come the end of the year the chances are Daniel going would be high.
Yeah, we knew that it was. I mean, the two drivers at major risk were Perez and Daniel,
Yeah,
and they've committed to Checo for some reason.
I don't know
So
why.
it only leaves Daniel to leave. They're not going to get rid of Sonoda because they signed a contract with him. And obviously we know Helmut Marko is he's got his pants down for Liam Lawson. So there's
Yeah,
one way or another he's getting in that car. So, you know, it's bullshit because Daniel is a very talented driver. And when he did the test for Red Bull to put him back in that RB, he was as quick as Max.
he
So,
was.
yeah, but that's Formula One for you.
It is Formula One. They come in and they go.
Yeah.
And such a talented driver that Daniel was, it is sad to see him go. Was it eight? Is he 8-time race winner?
Yeah, 8-time race winner.
8-time race winner. Probably should have been more
Yeah.
in his time. A few career moves may have stopped that.
Yeah.
But
Maybe.
maybe stopped him from winning a world championship. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he was a world championship worthy driver. He came into Red Bull and tore it up with Seb Vettel.
Yeah.
And that's Seb Vettel, right? You know, the man that won four in a trot and even took it to Lewis Hamilton in Lewis Hamilton's prime. So, you know, we're talking about a very good driver here. It's such a shame. It really is.
It is a shit, especially with the tracks that are coming up. Obviously, Austin, we
Yep.
know is a track Daniel loves. Mexico, we know a track that Daniel loves.
Mexico, he went well around Mexico last season.
He did.
He had a
He
very
went
good
very
race.
well. He's always gone quite well round Mexico.
Yep.
Obviously Austin he has. Brazil, he's not too bad at.
Yep.
So these are all tracks that Daniel's good at, and we're not going to see him at them.
No, obviously it's not confirmed. Let's just sort of talk about why they haven't announced it. And there's been a bunch of rumors speculating and circling around F1. From what I've heard, and this is obviously take this with a grain of salt, but from what I've heard, is apparently there is a clause in Liam Lawson's contract, and essentially it states basically a performance clause for Daniel. If Daniel hasn't done a certain amount of, I don't know, points, I guess, or is, you know, out qualified or outraced Yuki a certain amount of times, there is license for Liam Lawson to be in the car for the remainder of the year. And that's the rumor, that there's a performance clause and Liam has to go in the car for a certain number of races. There is even rumors that they're going to bring Daniel back for Abu Dhabi for one last race for a send-off. It's a whole mess. It's a real big mess. And, you know, it's crazy because with a team that is known for being so ruthless with their drivers, they couldn't be so on the fence with this decision.
Yeah, it's not good for anyone
No.
in that scenario. Like, if Daniel was to leave, he should be told before Singapore. Everyone
Yeah.
should be told before Singapore. We can give him the send off he deserves. There's no point in messing about Daniel to bring him back at Abu. There's no point in messing about Lawson to take him back out at Abu Dhabi.
Nope.
That's just going to stop his growth in the team. Because the team are just going to be thinking, oh, Daniel's coming back for Abu Dhabi. They're not going to be focused on Lawson.
No,
It's
it's not
too
fair on them.
much. No, it's not fair on the drivers. The team just needs to, I don't know, just grow up.
Grow up.
Like, honestly, it's stupid what they do. It's childish. They're messing
Yeah.
about with their drivers. I mean, what is the performance? Why are you putting a performance clause against Yuki Tsunoda? We know how good Yuki is. Like, this is a bad reflection on Yuki, expecting Daniel, who's had a year out, to come and destroy him effectively. Like, what does that make on Yuki?
Now, obviously, these are only rumours, so it could just be that they're just being extra stupid and they're beating around the bush for no apparent reason. But because they haven't made an official statement, announcement, that is the rumour that there's some kind of very specific contract that states that Lawson has to go in. Now, the only thing with this is, regardless of the contract or not, if Lawson does end up replacing Daniel, which it looks like it very likely will happen by Austin, it's going to villainize Lawson really badly. And I don't mean to say this because it's nothing against Liam Lawson. He's a fantastic driver. He seems like a great bloke. But you're replacing Daniel Ricciardo very unfairly at a time where he is sort of getting back on the pace. And I don't know. I don't think it makes Liam Lawson look that great. Now, obviously, it's not his fault. It's the team's fault. But Liam Lawson also is unfairly put in a very sticky situation where I bet he doesn't want to replace Daniel Ricciardo. But
no, he probably just wants to come in next year.
Yeah, he probably wants it to be the smoothest transition possible, but I don't know. It doesn't look good on everyone.
No, it's really... if you're on about performance terms, if that is true, Perez didn't meet his performance terms in his rumoured contract by Spa. No. Why is he still there?
Well, because they discovered that Perez had actually been right all along and about the car, so they kind of forgave him. They were like, yeah, all right, Checo, that's fair.
Well, yeah, you can forgive someone who, in that 2023 car, was miles ahead of any other car on the grid, even with the issues, per se. He was going out in Q1 and Q2. That's not forgivable, even with issues. World-class drivers are supposed to be able to adapt. Perez should have adapted to that. If he's had a full year, he hasn't done it. So why is he still in the car? Why is Daniel going?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no logic behind this. It's just Red Bull doing Red Bull things. No one has any idea why.
They're all stupid.
Right, let's be real. Let's just break this down.
And that's putting it nicely.
Exactly. Let's break this down then. So, right. So, obviously, Max and Yuki stay 100%, right? They stay.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. They obviously stay there, hit their performance targets. But
yep. So then the decision. Okay, so Max and Yuki definitely locked in 100%. So then the next step is, okay, Liam Lawson. He definitely deserves a seat. I think everyone agrees. Okay, That's another seat gone. One more seat left. You have two drivers. Well, you have three drivers, really. You have Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, or you've got Dennis Hauger, right? Then you decide, okay, then, which one deserves a seat? Hauger's unproven. Probably not, right?
No.
Sergio Perez has been constantly outperformed by Max. Yeah, he was complaining about the car, and he was right. But has he really deserved to stay in that Red Bull seat? No. Daniel Ricciardo has come in, done a decent job, hasn't outscored Yuki totally in the championship, but has been on top of him in most recent races. Does he deserve the Red Bull seat? Maybe not, but he deserves it more than Perez does. You don't give it to Lawson because he's, you know, young and he needs to be developed first.
You give it to Yuki.
You realistically, you give it to Yuki, but let's just say Yuki stays at RB. You give it to Daniel. This is the biggest piece of logic. I don't know where their brains are at. Like, how do they not, like, how has this not been a conclusion?
I don't know. The most logical solution to this is get Perez gone, Max and Yuki in the Red Bull. That's smart. Daniel to help Lawson in the RB. There we go. It's a win-win. Everyone's happy. Perez ain't on the track no more. We're all laughing.
And maybe Perez goes to Audi.
Well, Bottas is rumoured to have signed his contract now.
He is, and if he has, I'm really happy.
Yeah.
Be really happy.
So that will be the grid. Even with Bortoleto was still a rumour, which I would not have been mad at Bortoleto coming in.
And
He
Colapinto.
looks amazing.
Yeah,
and Colapinto.
Yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much it for the Daniel farewell discussion. Any final thoughts on Daniel Ricciardo before we pretty much don't really talk about him for the rest of F1 history?
No. We'll see in a bit, Daniel.
Well, we won't. Farewell, Daniel. You've done
Well, we might see him.
Yeah, we'll see him on the grid. I don't think we're going to see him driving an F1 car ever again, which is really sad.
No,
I really like
not.
Daniel. Right, anyway, see you in a bit.